It's a big day. Today, we're going to release the muscles here and here. So this is an area where we tend to hold the most tension in our bodies. So oftentimes we think it's our shoulders because we suffer that the most. But the truth is your whole life you've been clenching and contracting here. And probably other than an occasional, you haven't really dealt with this. So what happens is that the muscle tissue, it's very, very tight. And it also has tight fascia. And I'm not going to get too much into anatomy, but you can think about it like layers and layers and layers of spider web until it becomes really tight and freezes. And then to make it even worse, oftentimes there's different like calcium deposits or like, the body, the bloodstream and the lymphatic system, it's passive in a lot of areas. So it'll kind of go by and oftentimes they'll just drop off things they don't want to carry. And that always goes into areas of higher density. So basically what I'm saying is there's a lot in here and it's kind of going to suck, but it's worth it. So I had a lot of problem. I had TMJ, I was chipping my teeth and I knew I had to do something about it. So I went to my teacher and she showed me these techniques and she told me it would take me a couple of months of working on it, about an hour a day. And I would do it a lot of times like driving with my fingers or, when I'm relaxing. So that's why today I'm doing this video before I go to bed because that's when I usually do my gua sha. So first we want to go ahead and apply something to our face. Today I'm going to use F8. This is my favorite serum for the summertime, and I was out in the sun quite a bit today, so I find this like really refreshing. Now you want to get your skin nice and hydrated, so whatever you're using, you want your gua sha or your butter knife to slide really well. So just take a moment. Ooh, I can feel the sun. And I wore a hat, but still, all the reflected light. Okay, so we always want to kind of start with just the basic slide here. So this, we're just pushing the lymphatic fluid and you want to be nice and gentle. It's just like the relaxation, kind of tuning into yourself. Just take a moment, come into this moment. And other side. So already it's so hard to talk while I'm doing this. I like get so into it. I'm like, oh, it's my relaxation time. But that's what I wanted to show you guys tonight. So you just kind of saw how I actually work this into my life. And I'm usually watching like a podcast. I'm totally into like history. Let's go to our forehead. Totally into like history documentaries. Graham Hancock's amazing. Um, Fall of Civilization. I just find that so relaxing and I love the beautiful cinematography. And I specifically like, and just keep sliding along here. Just let it be really natural. You're just kind of moving the fluid. Let this be a natural motion. And there's not really like wrong moves. You see, I'm using what we learned yesterday. I scoop here, just getting everything prepared. Yeah, so Fall of Civilization, it's good. And I just, love doing this. It's my nighttime ritual. And then let's take a little time, kind of scoop. If you did your lips heavily yesterday, they might be a little sore today. And you'll notice if there's any area I like to do under my eyes, but be very gentle there. We don't ever want to pull on the tissue under our eyes because a lot of people have this habit of rubbing their eyes. But every time you tug on this, it has the least elasticity in your body, so it doesn't go back. So what I recommend is that like if you have something in your eye, which happens to me a lot, I take a tissue and I'm very gentle and delicate. It's not worth it. And you have to train yourself a little bit out of that gesture. Okay, so let's dig in. Now, it's hard to talk while I do this, so I'm going to explain what I'm going to do and then I'll demonstrate. The first thing is to take the gua sha. I'm going to place it here behind this bone. But before I do that, I'm going to open my mouth. That's why it's hard to talk. Because if I keep my mouth closed, it's in the clenched position. We actually want to get access. And eventually when this releases, and it probably, unless yours is open, it's about 1 in 10 people, it's very open. You won't notice this, but for most of you, it's going to feel very tense. And you just have to work through that. It does release, but that's why we're practicing. So if you have the gua sha or you have the end of the butter knife, you're just going to open your mouth as much as you can and just gently. begin to slide. Now, if you did that a little bit and you started to tense up, too much pressure. Yeah, you have to kind of take your time because we're going to be here for a little bit and just find one point and kind of press into it. Open your mouth as much as you can. It might be super tight. That's normal. Yeah, mine only opens this much because I spend a lot of time doing this. So, and just go ahead and have a look. And you'll notice that see the angle of my head. So I turn my head to the side. Mouth is open and I just press. And you can see maybe you don't slide so much because it's too painful. Maybe you just work one little point. But don't give up. You'll want to give up. Yeah, it's uncomfortable right now. But I will tell you something about life. Keep doing while I talk. It's going to be uncomfortable one way or the other. So you either have the pain of like improving something or the pain of living with the problem. So I would recommend if it's tight, hallelujah. You have a solution. You just have to do this every night, but not every place every night. You'll see we do a different area every day. And you see, I move my jaw around. I'm really just trying to liberate this area. And I want you to see that I'm not digging it into my neck. I'm going behind the jawbone. So you don't want to press this into your neck muscles. It's behind. So the idea, if I do it with my fingers, is that it's like I'm trying to go right behind where the bone is and just press into those muscles, just to be really clear. Now, if you want, you can try doing this with your fingers. But you notice you have to keep your fingers straight. That's why I recommend using a tool, because a lot of people will do it with the fingers bent like this, and you won't get any effect. So we want to make a change. We want to get this more open. Excellent. So go ahead. Now you probably feel, if you pause for a moment, you probably feel quite different just after a little bit. When I do this, sometimes I dig in, I'll be 10, 20, 30 minutes, just gently, thoroughly massaging everything. Other side. I'm just telling you what I do sometimes. Some days it's just a quick little bit and then I'm done. Just open your mouth. Now, if you're not able to find the point, yeah, it's behind the jaw, not into the head, not into the neck, not into your glands, just right here. Now, you may feel like moving your head or your neck, just naturally and gently, no jerking movements. You might see that, because when I'm pushing, what I like about the gua sha is as I open my mouth, hard to talk while I'm doing it, as I open my mouth, this goes up, and just a little bit I relax my head. So instead of more pushing here, I just gently, a little bit less holding of the head. And in this way, the hand and my head come together to release the tension. Keep going. Be gentle but thorough. I'm going to talk through this a little bit. So these techniques, I've been doing them right now, probably 20 some years. I still have to do them because anyways, like I clean the kitchen. Well, the next day I have to clean the kitchen again. It's the physical universe. So what, us yogis say is don't resent the duties you have to do. It's just the nature of maintenance. Instead, make them a little bit like an offering, So instead of like, oh God, I got all this tightness and it's, painful, go ahead and release that. Just allow yourself to enjoy the duties, the rituals of life. It's a pleasure, we have to do it every day. Not this one every day, but this one I do at least once or twice a week. All right. So the next part, we're actually going to start with our fingers because I want you to find the bones and the tissue here. So now we were behind here, back there. And next we're going to move here into this muscle bed below your cheekbone. So first, we all have different kind of face shapes. Find one of your cheekbones and just feel the cheekbone. And then you'll notice along it, there'll be almost like a ridge. And again, very different face shapes, but you'll be able to be underneath the bone just a little bit. So wherever that is for you, just take one of your fingers and kind of find that bone ridge. So I'm just following, basically kind of follow your cheekbone. Yeah, find that. All right, good. Now, I'm going to talk and then demonstrate because I can't talk while I demonstrate this one. So this next one, you'll open your mouth so you can feel the muscle bed. It'll kind of pop out a little bit, and then you're going to press into it just so you get an idea of where this particular group of muscles is beginning, the attachment point. So here they attach all through here and down here, and you can Google it and have a look at the amazing muscles in your face, but we can find them with our fingers. Just have the idea they begin and terminate somewhere. Okay, good. So now we're going to open our mouth like this. And you'll feel that this, so if I go along my cheek, here there's not much muscle. It's like a flesh of my cheek. But when I get to right here and I open my mouth, you can feel the beginning of this muscle bed and or this muscle group. And wow, that is tight. So you'll feel as you run your hand along it, there'll be like little denser points that are kind of knotted. Well, welcome to having a face. We all have it. The thing is what do? We have clothes, we wash them. You have a face, you need to release it. So you can either use your gua sha or your fingers because this can be quite intense. So you decide. And I want you to just open your mouth. Oh, it's so relaxing and painful at the same time. And you're going to slide your fingers just up and down with the mouth open. Starting from that cheek, pressing in. Don't scrunch your face. Relax your face. I know it's painful. I have a face too. Just relax it. Relax and slide. And then if you find any places where you find a knot, just very gently, as if you were kind of moving in many different directions, try to kind of shake and press into it and see if you can get it to release. Go ahead, keep going. Gentle but thorough, and don't be afraid to use force. And the reality with this is you might use too much force and you'll get a little bruised. Anyways, you're still going to keep relaxing your face and you'll learn, and a bruise goes away in a couple of days, but a tight face that's totally tense lasts a lifetime. So let's get rid of the tight face. And maybe, you make a mistake. I just bruised like one side of my lip the other day because I was working hard on this, and it happens. So what I'm showing you guys today, I'm not going to go the whole time, but I would probably, because I'm going to do this after I finish this video, I would probably spend here in this, I'm going to spend about 20 minutes at least, because it's really actually tight from today. So let's go to the other side. Same thing first, find it with your fingers, slide along that cheek ridge. Oh God, what was I doing today? Okay. All right. So then once you kind of feel the beginning, the attachment points here on all along here, open your mouth. So for me, this knot is totally in a different place than on this side. It's like, wow. So on this side, it's lower down, it's here. And on this side, it's higher up, it's here. I have knots. Well, this is why this is such a valuable practice. Literally my knots, not here, not here. You can see the asymmetry. And what I love about this, keep going while I talk, is that you have something you can do about it at home that's really helpful. And as you notice here, the other side that you just did, you can feel the blood going and it feels different. You're literally changing, you're sculpting your body, your face through time with these techniques. And it's just be steady and gentle, but also don't be afraid to use enough force. And if you mistake and you use too much force, well, I've done it. I've done that more times than most, but it's better to occasionally make a mistake and get a bruise than to not deal with the unending tension that affects, obviously how your face looks, which is why we're here, but it affects everything else, which is, equally, if not more important. Um, so it's worth it to release this. Wow, I'm gonna have to dig in. So same thing, other side. Relax your face. If you're so I'm gonna end with this idea. Oftentimes I go to the gym and I see people lifting, they're scrunching their face the whole time. That's not a good habit because you're demonstrating always that something's hard or easy, and it affects your whole nervous system. So in general, like in yoga, we try not to make faces because we're trying not to generate emotions or resistance. We're not trying to tell ourselves it's hard or it's easy. We just relax and soften. And that in that softness, because we're not tensing and making all these kind of unnecessary expressions, it allows you to really tune into exactly where's the right amount of force. And you become sensitive with that. So right now, this is a very intense area, and probably you're like, what the heck? But as you're doing it, you'll find that maybe you're scrunching your face or tensing or reacting. Every time you do that, you engage the sympathetic nervous system. You start to go into fight or flight. And that doesn't work if we're trying to relax. So this is why spending a little time breathing, or if you notice you're tensing, sink into your breath and let yourself relax into the work of doing it and enjoy this ritual of clearing. Because if you enjoy it, you'll do it more. And if you do it more, you'll have the benefit. Yeah. Okay. So this is what I do. I put it into the end of my night. I am going to go and put on one of my podcasts right now and dig into whatever the heck happened that made my face, get knots in totally different places. So enjoy your first couple of times, don't overdo it. Now I say that I kind of always overdid it because as soon as I got this technique, I realized I could undo a lot of my TMJ, and I have to work with it every week. So enjoy, and afterwards put on some more hydration. If you did bruise, just put on some arnica gel. This idea, like as martial artists, when we train, the impact that we get bruises or we get your tissue actually grows back stronger. We need to impact this world. Now, not so much that you get broken, but enough that you're stimulating growth. Yeah. And sometimes we miss, sometimes you go too far, and that's part of the journey. So, all right. Well, I love you guys. Enjoy the next videos that are coming tomorrow, and write to me if you have any questions.